The Canadian-built 2023 CR-V Hybrid represents one of the most dramatic generation-over-generation advances of Honda's bread-and-butter crossover.
So road test coming up for you a little later in this video, but a couple of things I want to show you first.
The debut of Honda's new two-motor hybrid system is timely. More shoppers are switching to electric and electrified products, the majority of which are flexible and all-wheel drive equipped crossovers just like this one. My tester's pricey sticker may leave some shoppers seeking out a more modestly priced unit without hybrid power, although this is the first time I've counted the CR-V's dynamics, powertrain, and overall responsive and polished drive amongst its key assets for purchase consideration. So let's learn all about it. What engines are in the 2023 Honda CR-V? The standard offering is a freshly updated 1.5-liter turbo four-cylinder with 190 horsepower and 179 pounds of torque. With all-wheel drive, combined fuel consumption lands at 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers. The new two-motor hybrid engine is a 2-liter non-turbocharged four-cylinder with 204 horsepower and 247 pounds of torque. That's a slight boost in ponies and a major boost in torque output and especially throttle response, all while using about 6.4 liters per 100 kilometers combined. That's 2 liters less fuel for every 100 kilometers you drive versus the standard engine, a savings of about $3 per 100 kilometers, assuming a fuel cost of $1.50 per liter. So in this way, the CR-V's new up-level engine is not only more pleasing and powerful, it also cuts your fuel bill. Both the 1.5-liter turbo engine and 2-liter hybrid engines run on regular-grade fuel. Is the CR-V Touring Hybrid worth it? The 2023 Honda CR-V starts at $34,790 with front-wheel drive and $37,590 with all-wheel drive. My top-line all-wheel drive-equipped tester's $48,890 starting ask is a $5,500 step above the next-in-line CR-V, the $43,390 EXL without hybrid power. Assuming fuel costs $1.50 per liter and that you drive 25,000 kilometers per year, a non-hybrid CR-V will generate an annual fuel bill of about $3,150. The more punchy and responsive hybrid generates an annual fuel bill of about $2,400 using the same math. So that puts hybrid fuel savings at around $750 per year for a break-even point of about 7 years, given the $5,500 step into the hybrid. For most shoppers, the biggest draw to the hybrid engine will be the enhanced performance, though the fuel savings will more or less cover the cost of the hybrid tech over the life of the vehicle. Used to be that high-performing engine options use more gas to make more power, but not anymore. Hybrid tech like this allows automakers to offer more power alongside fuel savings, a win-win situation for the shopper. Those thinking long-term can also consider resale value, since unpredictable fuel prices mean that future used car shoppers will be increasingly looking for hybrids and electrics. How does the Honda CR-V Touring Hybrid work? Under the hood, a 2-liter four-cylinder engine is connected to a continuously variable transmission, or CVT. In the CR-V Hybrid, this is called an eCVT, because to the insides of a regular transmission, this one also adds 2 built-in electric motors. One of these motors applies electric power to the driveline, reducing or eliminating the workload of the gas engine. It's called the traction motor, and it spins at 14,500 RPM and produces 181 horsepower. The second motor is called the generator motor, and its job is to recharge the CR-V Hybrid's battery pack. The generator motor spins at up to 17,000 RPM and generates 161 horsepower. The traction and generator motors are both arranged within the transmission, one mounted just above the other. These motors also have the job of starting the engine, which they do almost silently since there is no need for a dedicated starter motor. The generator motor recharges the battery automatically as you drive around, and the traction motor uses that self-generated power to help drive the CR-V Hybrid down the road. By the way, there's nothing to plug in and no driver decision-making required. Just put gas in the tank and drive the way you're used to. This unconventional twin-motor layout was chosen for packaging reasons, basically allowing the engineers to pack more electric power into the same physical space by separating the duties of the electric motors, one for driving and one for charging. So long story short, this transmission with its 2 onboard motors turns the CR-V's gas engine into its own hydro station.
Next, I've made some time-lapse footage of the handy hybrid driveline infographic in the instrument cluster. From the driver's seat, you can use that to keep an eye on what the system is up to in real time, but as a potential shopper, this time-lapse footage can actually help you understand how this hybrid system works over the course of an extended drive.
As you watch this footage, you'll see the engine icon light up and fade out, indicating whether or not the gas engine is running and using fuel. When it isn't, you'll see the green EV indicator on the bottom of the dial. When you see green lines on the infographic, that's electricity being generated to store in the battery. The blue lines mean electricity is flowing from the battery to the powertrain. And in time-lapse, you'll notice this is a constant cycle of making and then using electricity. The battery level constantly moves up and down but never gets full or empty, and that's what it looks like when your hybrid is constantly creating its own electricity and using it to help keep that gas engine from working too hard. How are the Honda CR-V hybrid's headlights?
Normally, you don't get to see how these perform on your test drive. Instead, you'll find that out later after you've bought the vehicle, taken it home, and gone for your first nighttime drive. So here's what you can expect from these LED headlights on a dark road. If the new CR-V might be your first new vehicle in 10 or 12 years, and you're coming in from something with an older halogen lighting system, I think you'll find the headlights on this to be a major upgrade. And look at that clean white color, which is actually easier on your eyes and helps reduce eye fatigue on long trips. That means even 4 or 5 hours into a nighttime drive, my eyes were feeling fresh and alert, not tired and sandy.
2023 Honda CR-V Touring Hybrid Road Test. Engineers extensively reworked the CR-V for its best drive yet, reducing weight, adding strength, and retuning steering, braking, powertrain, and suspension systems. They even created specific suspension components using new materials to improve response, smoothness, and refinement. Building all of this around one of the market's best new hybrid engines turns in a package with on-the-road manners that help back up the machine's price tag. If you're considering making this sort of spend, I think you'll find the CR-V hybrid helps justify its sticker as one of the best driving crossovers in the segment, and a model that frequently reminded me of the sort of manners and refinement I expect in a premium branded crossover. The driving dynamics and feel of this machine are excellent, and it starts under the hood. That new twin-motor hybrid engine is one of the segment's best and smoothest. Specifically, drivers can expect strong and direct throttle response, with engine output boosted by the electric torque, especially in sport mode. Even a light touch on the throttle is met with a leap, not a lag. The engine is remarkably responsive at low revs, where the gas engine is quiet and the electric motors help smoothly surge the car along. It's a torque boost, but without the lag of a turbocharger. Careful calibration ensures a strong reaction to the driver's throttle inputs, even in low-speed traffic. The CR-V hybrid is not a speed racer, but there is a consistently refreshing response to even the smallest of throttle inputs. Under heavy throttle and spirited driving, the eCVT convincingly simulates the stepped kick-down and upshifting of a fast-shifting automatic so well that I couldn't even tell the difference. For the first few days I drove this tester, I literally thought it was a regular automatic. Best of all, and unlike many competitors in this game, the CR-V's hybrid engine rewards heavy-footed driving. Unlike competitors including the RAV4 Hybrid, Outlander PHEV, or Sportage Hybrid, the CR-V Hybrid's simulated upshifts are fast, well-timed, quick, and clean. The response is direct and immediate. Working hard, the engine not only sounds good, but also isn't too loud. And that's not something I can say about similar engines in the Outlander, Sportage, or RAV4. Shoppers after a premium upscale drive will find a strong return on their investment in this powertrain for its smoothness and polished response, right down to the sound from under the hood. That same polished feel extends to the ride and handling too. During highway cruising on a set of dedicated winter tires, I found no need to raise my voice for a phone call or conversation while cruising a little north of the speed limit. The roughest back roads I test on can coax occasional abruptness from the ride, though mostly the CR-V tackles these surfaces with minimal extra suspension and tire noise, and well-composed body motions as the suspension keeps things admirably comfortable, quiet, and composed when taking fire from the road surface beneath. Steering requires minimal driver bandwidth. On winding highways, it's easy to place the CR-V within its corner the first time with no need to readjust. The suspension takes a set quickly in corners, and the precise feeling reduces the need to adjust further. That's a recipe for confident and relaxed handling, which I especially appreciated on the winding highways of Northern Ontario. Even the brake pedal feel is above average. As it is with steering, handling, and throttle response, brake pedal feel is precise, confidence-inspiring, and direct. That's not often the case for hybrid-powered vehicles. These attributes all combine to give the CR-V Hybrid a refreshingly responsive and eager feel at the tips of its driver's fingers and toes. A few winter-friendly touches are easy to appreciate too. Specifically, the heated steering wheel button is right on the wheel where it belongs, and the wet blade wipers apply washer fluid directly to the windscreen at the wiper blade, instead of sending a mist of fluid airborne. That gives you a cleaner, faster wipe with zero lag and uses less fluid to boot. The wiper system easily outperforms those you'll find in competitors like the Kia Sportage, Hyundai Tucson, and Volkswagen Tiguan. Specifically, the CR-V's wet blade setup cleans the windshield with a single wipe, even at high speeds, where conventional systems require multiple wipes and much more fluid.
So a couple of other details for you on this interior and a little bit of a lay of the land here. Start with the drive mode selector here, just toggle up and down. And your choice is referenced by some sound effects as well as the animations up here on the screen. So we've got Sport, Normal, Econ, and Snow mode. Also downhill assist control there if we need it. Brake hold here, which means that once you bring the vehicle to a stop, you can take your foot off of the brake pedal and it will not roll forward again until you touch the gas pedal. Do a little glove test here for you. Infotainment system, let's see. Does not look like that's going to work with my gloves on. These are not touchscreen compatible gloves here, so if you've got a set of these on, you're not going to be able to work that touchscreen. Climate control, very easy though, because we've just got these 3 simple dials here. Those are very, very easy to just work with your gloves on if you like. That central command screen, not quite so much. We do have the hard buttons here on the outside, which will work with your gloves, but the rest of the screen will not. Very handy touch here, backup camera squirter. Check this out. So in reverse, we've got the backup camera there. It's fairly clean at the moment, but if we want to give it a little spray, we just wash that rear window by rotating back on this. And you can see there, we've got a little washer fluid jet that's going to blast all the dirt and ice off of that camera and give us a really clear and wide rear view.
For the money, I left my tester wishing for a flashier and more exciting interior design. Other than some orange stitching on the seats, little separated the scenery in my CR-V tester from the much less expensive HR-V I tested the week earlier. Despite the nearly $10,000 price difference, both machines have virtually the same forward dashboard.
Okay, so quick check of the cargo area here for you. A couple of things I want to draw your attention to. So power tailgate, of course. There's your button there with a handle next to it if you need it. First thing to show you here, fairly tall. This is very canine friendly. I don't have my dog Ghost with me today. However, he has no trouble jumping in and out back there. You can see the cargo load and height here is roughly knee height for someone of my size. We've got the accessory cargo tray here, but what I want to draw your attention to is there is no grip on the bottom of this, right? That's fairly slippery. So you may want to put something grippy between that carpeted surface there and this plastic here because this does move around fairly easily. Second thing, as tall as this cargo opening is, there are a couple of things that chew up the space a little bit. And draw your attention up here. We've got this sort of hump up there for the seatbelt. So if you're loading in something that's very, very tall, pretty much right up to the top here, you do have to watch that because this will chew up some of the space that you can use. Come back in around the side here, we can see that we've got basically flat folding rear seats. That's a completely flat surface there, which is handy. But notice this, right? We've got this sort of hump here. So while we've got the flat surface on the back of these 2 seats and another flat surface up there, we do have this hump in the middle. You are losing a bit of clearance because of that hump there, and also, again, a little bit of clearance because of that hump up in the ceiling for that seatbelt. Thank you for watching. I'm Justin Pritchard. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you learned something new. And until next time, take care and drive safe.